It's a business that allows you to fuck. Oh, sorry. Can I say that?
Yeah, yeah. We
Allows
don't
you
run
to.
ads. Yeah.
All right. So it allows you to screw off and not have to worry every waking minute. So I'm not saying that you should do that all the time, but like you can. So if I wanted to take a vacation right now, like tomorrow, my vacation starts and it goes from now until the end of December. I can safely do that because the business has been set up so that it allows me to have any lifestyle that I choose to have, which means it's just more flexibility, I guess. It's flexibility, freedom, and less stress just in general. So I don't think it necessarily means like, oh, you can have like an awesome lifestyle, because you can certainly have a lifestyle business and like be stressed out constantly with like other, things in life. I just think that if your business is not a stress factor, you're not reliant on clients and bosses and people like demanding of your time and attention all the time, and like, I have to be on this call at X time, I have to do this. Like, you can sort of go with the flow and be whatever. And so like for the longest time, and even like 2018 when I started hiring people, it was still a lifestyle business, but it was slowly becoming like, well, most of this money that I was spending was going towards other people to support the business, as opposed to, being able to like shape the business so that one person or two people who the other person I live with could manage the business and actively like grow the business, and then take all of that money, mostly like the profit, for ourselves and our lifestyle. And I'm not saying like I'm buying a helicopter. It's like I'm not trying to like live a lavish lifestyle. It's 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 the reason to even start. And I learned this from a book called Profit First, and this is where I started like this sort of journey, where the idea is like, why do you have a business? Like, what is the purpose of having your own business? It's to make money for yourself, right? It's otherwise like, what's your goal? And now people certainly have goals to like, they want to, I don't know, they want to start a business because they just like to see things grow. They want to feel ego, pride, whatever those things are that drive people. But for me, it was freedom. It was like not having to answer to a boss, not having to manage 50 people, and not having to like check in, clock out, all of those things. There are different types of businesses and different types of lifestyles. And I think it also, you can have a lifestyle business that's brick and mortar. It's really just on your mindset. I think as a great example of this, there's a guy in Longmont who has a store called the Bald Brewer, and every time I go to the store, it's just him. He owns the building and he runs this like homebrew store, and I would consider that a lifestyle business, where he's basically like he started a business in a thing that he is actively interested in, and he owns a brick and mortar store selling things that he's actually interested in, and he has clients that he actually likes. So and he can set his own hours because it doesn't matter, and he has the freedom. I know he just like went on vacation recently, so he has the freedom to be like, hey, I'm going to go on vacation, the store might be closed, or somebody's going to run it for a week. It's really it's more of a mindset and than it is a practice, I think, or a type of business. It's more of a like a how you feel about your business, and like the decision. It definitely goes into the decision factors of like what you do.
Got it. And Bald Brewer, that's where I get my ingredients as
Same.
well.
Yeah.
I think Mark's his name. Good dude. So if
Yeah.
you're in
Yeah.
Longmont, you can check it out. But
Yeah.
I know there was another brew shop that actually had like a tap room in there that went out of
Yeah.
business. It's over by the Sam's. Did you ever go to that one?
I used to drive from Boulder to it because it was the nicest store ever. It was the Brumentit was called. It was like the Walmart
That's right.
of like homebrew shops. It was so nice, but I think that that's ultimately it's not a lifestyle business. Like, you were trying to build like a legit hardcore business in something that is like, oh, you overspent. I think, and I don't know if that's actually what happened to them, but it certainly feels like when you kind of start something with like no grassroots effort, but you put a lot of money into it, it's like it's kind of it's really a gamble. But if you're just putting time and effort into something with very, very little money, it becomes less of a gamble. It becomes more of like a skill set and like a development thing. And you can, and it may not be like the fastest growing overnight success that you want it to be, which for Swim University, it took 10 years for me to make an actual living off of, for me to make like 40 grand a year on it. And that was like revenue, not what I was actually pulling in for myself. It took 10 years, arguably like 7 years of like bad work and not really trying as hard as I should have. And then 3 years of like very focused, intent work with a foundation that was already there. But and then doing everything myself, like not hiring out for anything. And that was in a lot of those years was learning website design and learning code and learning how to write and learning how to edit videos and learning how to do graphic design and using these different tools. Like most of those years were just spent learning the skills that I now have to, basically build a site with my eyes closed, and write a blog post with my eyes closed. Not really, but
You know
you
where
get the
the
point.
keys are, so you could type with your eyes
Yeah,
closed.
I could.
So,
Yeah,
and I think I'm going to tie a couple of these together. So, yeah, you got it exactly with Brewmented. For people that most people don't know, Brewmented. So this was basically a shop. It could be any shop. They got prime real estate that was very
mm-hmm.
expensive. They built out way more than they needed, and there potentially was a customer base, but they, maybe they didn't have the runway capital wise or effort wise
Yeah,
to just stick around for a long time. And then Mark at Bald Brewer, he's been there for 10 years. Like you said, he owns the building. He keeps it lean. I chatted with him one time and he said that he had a couple people help him out part-time a little bit at one point, but people weren't that great. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to do what I need to do to run this. And that, like you said, that's like a lifestyle business, right?
yeah,
Basically you're building it to have flexibility that you want to have. And I
yeah,
think that's like the highlight, whatever you deem flexibility as, right?
yeah. I mean, just the ability to like not work today. Like I don't want to work today, and you don't have to. It's not going to be. You're not going to get fired. It's not going to be the end of the world. Your business is not going to like go into the ground. But at the same, I don't think it's just that, because there are businesses like you could be a freelancer who does client work, and you can choose how many clients to get. You can choose to overwork yourself, or you can choose to work on just enough clients to like pay for like a much more relaxed lifestyle. And I think it's really, again, a mindset more than it is a discipline. It's like, because I think it can apply to many types of businesses. It's just like, how do you treat it? How many are you are you know? It's really like kind of, it could be lean. It could like they could have some overlap. I tend to think that a lot, because I also wrote an article. I think it was last year or the year before, called the Lean Business Machine, or like the something like that. Lean Mean Business Machine, I think it's called. And the whole idea was like, that was when I started down this road of like, we are going to eliminate everything that does not seem necessary to the success of this business. And that meant like looking at every little tiny piece of content we were creating and look at everything we were spending money on, and, using the profit first model, which is essentially the idea that you could, any money that you get, it's very similar to like pay yourself first. It's the same exact principle for personal finance as it is for business. The idea being like, if you make, $1,000 a month, you take 10, 15, or whatever percentage you decide, and you set that aside, and that is the profit. The business profited that money. The rest of it, you have to allocate. Now you only have like, say, 90% left, and that 90% better pay for you to like exist and live in the world, and operating expenses. And so that extra 10% never gets touched, and it builds up over time. And then every quarter you take half of that 10% that you've built up in those 3 months, and you give it to yourself as like, I own a business. I make that money. That's my money. And so you get like these like quarterly bonuses for being disciplined in doing that. And so, yeah, it just became very clear to me. It's like, we can operate Swim University with two people, like really easily. And I could do it with one person if that was the only thing I did. Like if Swim University was my only business and that was my only job to like make YouTube videos and write articles, I could do it myself. But because I have Money Lab and Brew Cabin, we need some help, and that's why we have one person that's full time doing all the video content for Swim University, and then just general help wherever stuff is needed. And then I have a assistant that helps with like customer service stuff for Swim University. So, and then also a light SEO stuff for Swim University as well.
Got it.